Greetings and welcome to Affordable Dress Watches today, which are going to be brought to you by the SEIKO Pad. Now, this is just a little sample, I'm just messing around with things and yeah, but just hope I can present the information well to you today. So, the first one on the list, and also the one that's definitely one of the most affordable watches on this list, is the SEIKO SNKL23. This picture is from the watch that I own, which is this watch, and it's a small watch, not too small to be considered tiny, but also not a chunky monster on the wrist kind of watch. It's small and wears really comfortably, massive thanks to its compact lug to lug. And the prices for this one hover from about 95 to 190 US dollars, and just a word of advice, some sellers are trying to sell this watch for about 200 bucks or more, which I believe is not a legitimately honest price for this watch. That's what I feel. If you think it's good to splurge 200 bucks on this, then that's your choice. I mean, it's your money. But one of the key factors, or should I say the key aspects of this watch that make it a little unique, is that people often think the SEIKO 5 line is just SEIKO's affordable entry-level automatic watches and that's it, but I would like to say no. If you look at just this watch, it has the SNKL 41 model, which comes in a white dial variant, but it has the similar dial layout, those indices and the design of the dial itself. And you can also check out several other offerings from the SEIKO 5 line, such as the SNXS 77, 79. They come in some really nice grey and blue, or should I say electric blue sunburst dials, and the prices are getting higher, which is not something I welcome, but well. Next up, we have this watch, and yes, that's my wrist. It's a LUCH or a LUCH, or however you have to pronounce it. If I'm saying it wrongly, please give me the right name. Next time I'll correct myself. So this watch has a 38mm case, and the thing about it is it has those really outlandish, outstanding lugs. These lugs are like the kind of lugs you expect on a sports watch, or more toolier kind of a tool watch, but surprisingly this is my dress watch, and the fact it is a single-handed watch just makes it really unique. And if you want something that's going to get you that extra attention or that second glance in a crowd, or you just want to stand out from a crowd, this might be your best bet. Yeah. The fact that this watch comes at a really slender case thickness of 10mm means that it will slide under a cuff, and that chromium is certainly blinky enough to catch the eye. And yes, the price for this one would be about, I think I got this one for about 75 to 80 US dollars, around there. There are quite a number of websites, and this is the electric blue dial version. There are many other versions which are in the black, silver, and if I'm not wrong, there's even like a cream dial variant, or even a green dial variant of this watch. So this is something that's pretty unique and affordable as well, in my opinion. Right here we have the SEIKO SRPB 41, and this is a blue dial watch. While the dial does not look this blue in real life, it can look really different depending on the lighting that you are viewing this watch in. It comes in a slightly larger case size, but I feel like maybe SEIKO are alluding to the modern trend of the trend which I hope is dying out, the trend of slightly larger case sizes in watches, whereby 40mm is considered medium. That's laughable. Maybe in the past, maybe in the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s even. I don't know, but I hope we go back to those days whereby a 35mm watch is still considered a medium size or even a regular size. Well, that's just as ludicrous as it sounds. This watch has a 47.5mm lug to lug distance, which means that it may or may not wear greatly on those of us who have slightly smaller wrists, depending on, I would say, the true dimensions of our own wrists as well. Some people may have a slightly more rounder wrist and some have more flatter one, so that's really up to an individual to try it out and see it. But do be aware that this watch is famous, or should I say infamous, on eBay for some reasons, or even on other e-commerce sites, whereby some people have tried to actually make replicas or Franken watches of this watch. I mean, I don't understand why people would go all the way, take all those measures just to make a replica of a $300 SEIKO watch, but such are these days. It's sad, but word of caution is that if a deal seems too good to be true, then it is what it is. Let us look at the next watch on the list. This is the SEIKO SUP880. It's also more commonly known as the SEIKO Tank by a lot of SEIKO lovers and enthusiasts around. And this watch comes in two sizes. This is the men's size, or the men's edition. I would say there's also a ladies version of this watch. And this watch may appear small, like 28mm case size may seem tiny by today's modern standards, where 42mm is the standard kind of size. And if you're wearing anything below 40, are you a man? Kind of nonsense is the kind of in thing for a lot of people nowadays, at least for fashion brands. For guys who are trying to sell 42mm or 43mm watches as dress watches, that's a shame, in my opinion, of course. But this watch is nothing like that. This is a small, slender, solar powered watch, and if I'm not wrong, the battery lasts more than 2 or 3 years or something like that. So the price you're gonna pay is going to be close to $100 US. And honestly, for a affordable Cartier Tank inspired watch, this is perhaps one of the best bets out there, in my opinion, from a really affordable standpoint. So next up, we are entering the Swiss territory here, and this is where we are going to look into watches which cost up to $1,000, $1,000 US, of course. And this is the MIDO BARONCELLI Heritage watch, and okay, this is really pushing the dimension, if you ask me, in terms of a dress watch. At 39mm, I'd say it's still acceptable. Maybe 40 is the max if you want to push a dress watch, unless we are talking about someone who's having like 8-inch or 9-inch wrists. For you folks, yeah, this might be tiny, but for the average 6.5-inch, 7-inch wrist guy, I think 39mm is sufficient, takes up sufficient real estate on the wrist. So it comes in with a fairly common 20mm lightweight, which should be easy for you to find straps to replace if you are a person who does not like using the default strap. But the really unique factor about this watch is the fact that it has this really nice dial. It has this textured eggshell kind of dial, and very, very well done dial, I would say. Also with that beautiful blue second hand. The price may be slightly on the higher side for a watch with a ETA movement, which, as this watch retails for $1,077 and about 1.5k in Singapore dollars. So that is something for you to consider. But not worry, we have two more in this section, which is, let's meet STOWA. Yeah, STOWA Marine Classic 36mm. This also comes in a 40 or 42mm case variant, but we're just going to stick with the 36mm one for today. This has a fairly substantial lug-to-lug compared to the case size, which is like almost 45mm. However, at 11mm, this should wear pretty comfortably on your wrist. And the really interesting thing here is that STOWA actually allow you to customize the watch. Like you can choose whether you want to have the version with the Roman numerals presented here, or you want to have the one with Arabic numerals, or you want to have a higher grade ETA movement in the back, or do you want to have a top finish movement. So it's really up to you to choose that. And of course, with these different choices, the price also will vary and change accordingly, but 700 bucks I feel is a great amount for you to part with to enjoy this well executed watch, which has the ETA 2824 movement and is made in Germany if I'm not wrong. But this is not where my love for German watches ends, rather it will be continued in the next watch. Next, last but not least, we have the JUNGHANS Max Bills 38, which as we can read is a 38mm case-sized watch, and thanks to its almost non-existent lugs, this watch will wear really well on even tiny teeny-weeny wrists. So ladies and gentlemen, whoever feels like their wrist is really small and they can't wear a watch that's like close to 40mm, you have to try this one out. And the particular reference that I've chosen to feature here is not black, it's not white, it's in between. It's not exactly black, it's not exactly grey, it's somewhere in between, and there's definitely some kind of texture to this dial. And you can also note that the way they have done the hands on this watch and the Arabic numerals as well, there's a certain 4 patina, and honestly speaking, 4 patina gets a lot of hate or a lot of distaste in the watch community, but if they are going to do it like this, then I believe a lot of us can truly appreciate having this 4 patina on our dials of our watches, and perhaps it's a acquired taste of some sort, or maybe some of us will never grow onto it and we only want to see patina when a watch is actually that old enough to have that patina, or exposed enough to actually warrant that kind of natural patina. So yeah, there are purists, there are non-purists, there are different kinds of people in every community, society, whatsoever. Your opinion is yours and mine is mine. And the thing about this watch is that it's only 10mm thick, and honestly speaking, if you are a fan or follower of the Bauhaus art school, or even if you're just somebody who likes to wear a minimalist watch, or practically in your everyday life you like to follow the ethos of minimalism, then this is for you, and maybe for me also. But without anything else being added on, thank you for staying all the way throughout until this point. Once again, thank you so much for watching this, and I'd like to let you know that I truly appreciate you spending your time and literally just sitting back and listening to me and watching this video. And this is just a little experiment of mine. But with that being said, I also like to let you know that I truly appreciate it if you have been reading my little articles or been following my IG page, and hopefully over time there will be more content, and Till then, let's hope that everybody stays safe and takes good care of themselves and their loved ones around them. And last but not least, feedback and criticism, whichever, is always welcome. Feel free to let your opinions be voiced out. They're always welcome. Thank you, and stay tuned.